Hi, this is Mr. Nazarian. Our lesson objective today, I can add and subtract unlike mixed numbers by finding equivalent fractions. 5th grade standard, numbers and fractions, A1. Okay, we're looking at two mixed numbers, and they are unlike mixed numbers, meaning that the fractional parts of those mixed numbers have different denominators. So 1 3/4 plus 2 1/3, something that we found the other day as we were working on this was that one way that you can do it is to change these mixed numbers into improper fractions, find common denominators, add them up, change them back to mixed numbers, which is something we can certainly do. But something that many of you found was actually easier and made more sense to you was to just kind of move the whole number parts of the mixed numbers aside. Kind of say, you know what, we'll work with those later. Right now, let's just focus on the fractional parts. So we just have the 3/4 plus 1/3. So this goes back to our work yesterday. Where were we? Oh wait, no, I guess that was 2 nights ago, where we were working on just adding unlike fractions. So again, we have to do the same thing. What we've been working on, these strategies we're working on, they're all connected. It's all the same kind of stuff. So we're just going to find a common multiple of this denominator, so we can have a common denominator. So the 4 and the 3. Again, we can just make multiple lists, multiple towers of each of those numbers: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and of course 12 is the number that they have in common there. So lowest common multiple. So that means that that is going to be our common denominator for this. So we are going to change this 3/4 into an equivalent fraction with 12 as the denominator. So again, 4 times 3 is 12. So if we multiply by 3 on the bottom, we have to multiply by 3 on the top. So 3 times 3 is 9. So that means 3/4 is the same as 9/12. And then 1/3. The 3, to change it to a 12, we're going to multiply by 4, right? So if we multiply by 4 on the bottom, we got to multiply by 4 on the top. So 1 times 4 equals 4. And then, oops, my bad. Oops. All we're going to do is add this 9/12 plus the 4/12, and that's going to give us some amount of 12s. So 9 plus 4 is going to give us 13. So 13/12. So this, remember though, we're actually adding 1 3/4 and 2 1/3. So if we just take that 2, I guess I should have moved that over here, and add the 1, it's going to actually give us, 3, right? So if I'm adding just the whole numbers, it's going to give me 3. And if I'm adding just these fractions, the fractional parts, that's going to give me 13/12, right? So I added the wholes, I added the fractions, now I have 3 and 13/12. The only problem with that is we can't have a mixed number that has an improper fraction as part of it. So we have to take this improper fraction part and change it into a mixed number. So 13/12 is going to equal 1 and 1/12, right? Because 13/12, well, so that's going to give us, it's going to be more than 1, right? So 12/12 is 1 whole, and then we'd have 1/12 left over, right? 12/12 plus 1/12 equals 13/12. So we have this, that means that this part is going to be 1 and 1/12. And then all we're going to do is add the 3 and the 1 and 1/12, and that's going to give us, well, it's going to give us 4. I'll just write it in my hand. It's going to give us 4 and 1/12. All right. So now it's your turn. So if we have 6 and 1/2 and we subtract 4 and 1/5, how would you solve for that? What would the difference be? Go ahead and solve. Okay, so I'm going to move through this kind of quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to forget about these whole numbers right now and just work with the fractions. So we have 1/2 minus 1/5. Well, I could make a multiple tower and do all that. I happen to know that 2 and 5 share a common multiple of 10. So it's just saying, okay, I want to change 1/2 into some certain amount of tenths. So 1/2 I know is equal to 5/10. I know that because 5 is half of 10. I know that because if I multiply 2 times 5, it's going to be 10. That means I have to multiply the top by 5 as well. 1 times 5 equals 5. So that means that this 1/2 is the same as 5/10. And the 1/5 would be equal to how many tenths? It'd be equal to 2/10, right? Because 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 2 is 2. So that means that this part is 2/10. So I'm just going to be subtracting 5/10, which is the 1/2, right? Minus 2/10, which is the 1/5. And that is going to give me 3/10. So that's great. I subtracted the fractional part, but I also have to subtract the whole number part. So 6 minus 4 isn't too hard for most of us. That would be 2, right? So 6 minus 4 equals 2. And then the 5/10 minus 2/10 part equals 3/10. So it gives us a total difference for this problem. The difference is 2 3/10. All right, so we'll work more on that tomorrow. See you then. Bye.